This week, we're bringing you some goodwill. Let's bring in the boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
How do you like
Oh!
them apples?
I'm a boy.
Part 1, the boys. Hello, hello.
Boy.
Welcome to the boys. If this is your first week joining us, as you can see in the corner over there, in 3 minutes, we're going to be bringing you a brand new song that I haven't heard yet, Phil hasn't heard yet, Ben hasn't heard yet, Taimir hasn't heard yet. The only person who's heard it is our boy Nate, who mixed it for us, and that on those speakers right behind him there. So we always start off with a new question. This week, our question is, what is the first album you ever bought? I'm going to start our timer. If you're at home, let us know. Let us know. If you're young enough that you've never bought an album, let us know that too. So,
wait, can I ask a question real quick?
yes.
First vinyl album
Nope.
or just
First-
collection?
No.
Okay.
First
It
collection
can't
of
be
songs.
cool.
Yeah, not cool.
Way
It
more
can't be
of a
cool.
loser.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going for here. So, the first one you bought too. So not like a gift or not like the first album. First one that you're like, I want this. I will spend my money on it. Mine is a very a lesser known band called the Philosopher Kings. They did a song. I don't remember any of their songs anymore. But the Philosopher Kings, they're like a jazz funk band. I don't listen to that at all. But for some reason, that was the first album I ever bought.
How old were you?
I was 7, maybe. I don't know.
7-year-old be like, I love jazz funk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like really smooth. Like there's a lot of triangle in there, and that's how you know it's good stuff.
Nice.
Oh, that makes
man.
sense then.
That
Fizz
is-
Biz, first album you ever bought.
Triangle.
I walked out of Spider-Man 1 at the Springfield Mall, and I walked straight to the Tower Records in the mall, and I purchased that CD in my hand. Whatever the lead singer of Nickelback is, he's
Yep.
got a song on there that was
Chad Kroger. So
very
does,
much everything.
Dashboard Confessional, I think.
There we go.
Yeah.
That was Spider-Man
make
2.
sense.
That was Spider-Man 2.
That's Spider-Man 2.
Great song.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stand by
Spider-Man
that
Right.
song. Ty, first album you ever bought.
First album I ever bought was Indestructible by Disturbed.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
I remember it vividly. Plan 9 in Richmond, Virginia. I saw that album
yeah.
cover. I was like, this is Disturbed. Oh, fuck yes. Let me get this.
That's awesome.
So,
Is that the one with the
no.
Was that the one
No.
after that one?
You were
After that.
Way after.
okay. I was gonna say, were you before? You were on the bandwagon already by the time that came.
No.
course he
I was listening to the radio. I knew the Come on.
Okay, Nate, you got 20 seconds.
First record I ever bought with my own money was either Aaron Carter's Aaron's Party
Aaron's
or
Party.
or the Dream Street record. I was like 7 also.
I love it.
All right, Ben, be quick.
Ben, who you got?
My first album was Awake by Skillet. The Christian hard rock group, but their album after they sold out.
That's awesome.
So,
Nice.
pretty good. What about you, Waffles?
Oh,
Amazing. For the record, Aaron Carter put out an album like last year that is awesome. And on that note, new song in 3, 2, 1.
Where's all the goodwill for my generation? My generation. We did not change the world just to hear out your frustration. You don't understand. You don't. You always had it easy. You always had it easy, man, believe me. We were burying student debt. We fought the wars that you all forget. I didn't go about my ambition. I was fighting my own condition. I showed up in my own way. So watch what you say. Yeah, so what if we came out with money? With money. You can't change the world from your couch in your honey. You don't, you don't, you don't, you don't understand. You don't. You don't, you always had it easy. You always had it easy, man, believe me. You always had it easy, man, believe me.
Wow, that is so different than the last time I heard it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's got some tasty parts in it. That's tasty. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any questions, we're about to go into how we made this song. So definitely let us know there, and we can talk about how we did it. Any lyrics, anything in the recording process, whatever you might want to know about. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Phil, because Phil's got an interesting story with this song. Fizz Biz. I'm going to play your parts behind me, but it won't be all of your parts. So tell me about that.
Sure. So I have a source on the internet where I like to look at samples, and samples are really popular in hip hop, obviously, but people use them in rock music too, and I think it's kind of fun to start a song with a sample. That said, with our live streams, I've been really worried that we would get shut down. So what I did was I took a song that I had built with a sample, and I put it on my own personal YouTube page. It got flagged for copyright because someone else has used it as well.
That same
else
sample that you
exactly.
used.
Somebody has found
So
my
even if
sweet
the
source.
sample is okay, if someone else has
Exactly.
used it and copyrighted their song, that's wild.
Correct. So I actually went back to the source, emailed with them. I know this is the wild stuff people come here for. But so they confirmed that I was in the right. But to be safe, and I didn't want to get our live stream shut down, so I pulled, Colin and I talked about it, we pulled all the samples. So what started out as like a really fleshed out song with big drum loops and guitar loops, all got stripped down to vocals and I think strings and piano is all that was left from me in there.
So that's what they're listening to right now. That's what you're all hearing right now.
Yeah, and I now am enlightened to the fact that maybe I don't have to build up the songs as much as I have been. And for some weeks, it might be really cool to even build up a song and then take it apart and then just
see
pass
how it's
on
different.
sort of the parts. Yeah, and I'm thrilled with this. This is more fun than it would have been with the sample. So I think we definitely did the right thing, and this was super cool to hear, because I promise it did not sound like this when it started.
Not at all.
So,
I heard the version with the samples, and it's like a nice, like, is it flamenco? Is that what that's called? Like a lot of flamenco guitar.
flamenco guitars, flamenco clapping as well.
Yeah.
I actually ended up
you imitate-
going back and doing those, on my own. It was kind of fun to just be in my room clapping alone.
Oh yeah,
Like a
a
crazy
lot of
person.
clap tracks on that. That's what's new.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So then you sent it to me. I got it, and when it came to me, it had all the parts on it, but we'd already discussed. Let's take them off. So as opposed to writing around those parts, I took them off, and I'll go and play what I added to it. So I still knew it needed like just the chord progression and like the structure of the melodic parts that Phil sent me. I knew it needed kind of very heavy percussion. I like the claves and like the timbales and bongos and congos. So those are floating all around, and then it's just kind of a simple syncopated drum rhythm. So I like to think of, is this simple or is this complex? So I'm letting the percussion be really complex on this song, and then I'm letting my drum parts be a little more straightforward, but syncopated. Syncopated being like on the offbeats, dancing while I'm talking to you. And so this song is pretty simple from what I added, and as you can tell right now, there's a huge parts where I don't even have any parts in it, because we're just really featuring Phil's vocal, the melody, the lyrics of this song, which if you haven't watched before, we'll have Phil go into the inspiration behind the song in just a minute. So he's going to tell you all about that. But there we are with like the full, like that's that syncopated drum beat behind the complicated percussion part. I like it. Dude, that's just fun to listen to. Is it weird to like your own stuff? Well, I do this every week. So anyway, so I sent it on to Benji. And while we were listening to it before, Benji told me he kind of like struggled to figure out exactly what he wanted to do with this song. And I'm stoked with what he added. So I want to hear about how he did it, what his inspiration was, and how he ended up getting the tones he got. So let's go over to Benji, and I'll start playing your parts, Benji. Hello. You don't have a mullet yet.
Rainforest. I don't have a mullet yet, no. But yeah, so yeah, when I got this song, like I definitely like, yeah, all of the flamenco vibe stuff I still felt very much. Like I definitely felt that through the percussion, and then but then the syncopated drum loops were like, or drum beats were an entirely different thing. So I kind of was like going back and forth where I wanted to go with it, and I tried like 4 different guitars. I tried. I just tried so many different things with it. Like I took an extra day because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, because there's just, and so what I kind of ended up doing was I just kind of took where I wanted to go. But usually how I write a song is I like know where I want to go and I like play through that, and then I start building on top of it. And how this worked was more, I just did one thing that I knew I would want in the song, and then I did another thing that I knew I would want in the song.
Cool.
And then when I got those tracks in, and I went, I know what I need to do with this song now. And then I recorded the full like big guitar part in it, which I'm like a lot of the real funky parts, those came in at the end. So I just started with that finger pick. Thank you, Mom. Those simple finger picked guitar parts. That's all what I started out with. I felt like it was a very if anybody knows Fast Art by Radiohead, that's kind of where I went with my guitar tone and style there. And then as I went outward, I kind of added like a Red Hot Chili Peppers style, like a really like kind of fast triplet, sort of like Hendrix / Frusciante style thing. And then I finally like it hit me, and I was like, oh, just go full funk with it. And I did, and it was great, and I really enjoyed doing it. And this is a landmark for me. This is the first time I've not even used any type of distortion or overdrive pedal ever on a song.
Wow.
It was just clean guitar with a compressor on it, and that was it.
Awesome. It fits perfectly. And you added, I heard you say too that you doubled the outro to give yourself a little more jam time.
Yeah, I just gave, again, it was very much like that sort of like Red Hot Chili Peppers thing, that sort of like end of Under the Bridge thing where they like, the song's over, but there's just a little bit of an extra repetition with some like simple finger picking, nothing crazy, but just a little extra to carry it on, you know?
Yeah. That's funny. Right as you said Chili Peppers, that the like trilly
Yep.
guitar part just came in.
And that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
So yeah, it was
awesome.
it was fun. I was so scared at the beginning, and then by the end I was like, no, this is I think this is good.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's great. That's awesome. Okay, so you then sent it on to Benji.
Nope.
Benji sent it on to Taimir, and so you hadn't heard anything that Taimir had added on the song till today, right?
No, yeah.
Okay, well I heard some tasty bass lines. We're gonna bring in Taimir. Tell us about that bass.
Okie dokie. So when Ben texted me saying that he was gonna send it to me, he told me he was like kind of having trouble with it initially, and then he brought up the whole like Frusciante kind of vibe that he was going for, and so I heard that definitely, and then I was like, oh no, I have to be Flea now. But no, I'm just kidding. And so like I found that there was a lot of ground that I could cover.
Yeah.
And so I think it ultimately came out being maybe one of the more detailed kind of bass lines that I've done on one of these songs so far.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I know I was I guess with the amount of space I found there to be, I was also initially like a little what's the word? Bamboozled. No.
Sure.
Maybe that's.
I don't know.
Yeah. So
is that the right word? Someone else
I
on
don't
Skype
know.
chime in.
Apprehensive.
Apprehensive.
No, I don't like. I like bamboozled.
Okay,
more, actually.
bamboozled.
So, yeah, and I was thinking about maybe adding some guitar stuff, but it didn't feel necessary at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just kind of went all over the neck of the bass. I didn't actually end up recording playing with just my fingers. I tried to, but I'm more accustomed to playing with a pick right now. So
it still fit, like tonally, it still works. Like it.
Yeah. I've actually that reminds me because so little thing about me. So these are the same picks, right? But I actually like using the one that's been used up a lot more and rounded out. Especially for bass, because it's still a pick, it's still plastic, but it has a bit more of a softer, rounder kind of attack. So.
Oh, so you didn't? That's not from you playing. That's just you can buy
Well,
them. It is. Gotcha.
It is. But
that's what you
but I
prefer
think
playing with.
I'm probably just gonna like start sanding these down a bit more because I like how they feel and sound that way. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's me rambling about picks and stuff. And
yeah. And then did you just use your same normal like setup recording wise?
The Iridium on the Marshall like super lead setting has been perfect. Like seriously, it's been
just does
perfect.
what you need to do. That's cool.
I've used some plugins for some other songs, but this has been the go-to, and it's worked every.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds great. You nailed this part, and that flea line that you're doing in there. You're giving him a run for his money.
It was fun.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to bring in Nate, and Nate got all the parts, and then he had the hardest job of making this whole thing work. So, Nate, do you want to give us a mix tip first, or do you want to just talk a little bit about the process?
We can just dive right into the mix tips.
Okay.
The mix tips
So then this is my favorite section. This is just the mix tip with Cool Dad. So Nate, we're playing the song in the background so people can kind of hear the song again while you're talking about it. So
good.
tell us a little bit about what you did, what your mix tip for this week is.
All right. This week is a three-parter, really.
Okay.
And they don't
Three-part
play
mix
into
tip.
each other by any way, shape, or form. Part one, when you are working on a song and you don't have a lot of time to really get it all situated the way you want, or you're working
Time
under pressure
crunch.
here.
Yeah.
The 80-20 rule applies, or I guess I don't remember. Somebody talks about it, but the point is you'll get 80% of your work done in 20% of the time. If you're smart about it, like you can make yourself get 80% of the work done in 20% of the time, and then the other 80% you spent of your time you spend on 20% of the. So really, if you can, exactly. So if you can be smart about it you can get a lot done with very little time, and if you plan accordingly, things will come together quickly. So I had to kind of do that this week because I got the song a day late, which is not a problem. It provided a good.
You had an opportunity to have crunch time.
Right, exactly. Part 2 is sometimes instead of trying to make everything fit, sometimes playing the mute game and just muting certain parts at certain places will do more than trying. Like, I ended up muting Benji's guitar in a couple of parts, and then I ended up muting one of the piano track.
Sure.
And I ended up muting the strings at a certain part, and it just kind of that helped make everything fit together, as opposed to like trying to just smash everything together. You know what I mean?
So don't be afraid to take stuff out.
Right, exactly. Like, it's not, as long as you keep the essence, or at least try your best to, make all of the parts appear at some point. Then, you can still achieve the same effect, but also end up trimming the fat to a certain extent.
Sure.
Last mix
Third tip.
Sometimes mixing on headphones outside is better than being up in your attic and devoid of sunlight. Sometimes
so get out of your usual environment.
Yeah, sit on your patio, have a cold brew, and it will maybe help you focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Changing your environment can change your creative process. That's awesome.
And your attitude towards the creative process.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That flexibility is huge. Awesome. Okay, well, so I'm going to bring back all the boys. Welcome back, all the boys. I muted a couple of y'all, so be sure to unmute yourselves, Benji and Phil. So this song is going to be available to all Patreon members here in just a few moments on Patreon. We are also have one more episode left of season 1 of this. Season 2 is already crazy. No! And we are really ramping up. We got a lot of cool stuff coming for you. You might get a
Colin,
sneak
what's
peek
the name of it?
What's
the name of next week's episode?
Next week's episode is...
Don't read it.
Let me see if I can get it. The Last Stand of the Great Martian Jam Band.
Ah,
nailed
nice.
it. It's Why would that be hard for anyone to remember? I just can't.
Why?
So we're going out with a bang with the Last Stand of the Last Stand of the Great Martian Jam Band. Hint: we are the
He gets
Great
it right
Martian
once,
Jam
and
Band.
that's all.
If you've enjoyed any of the songs from the season, we've put out 4 of some of our favorites for free in a link below this video. Below for this? That's English. Below this, there's a link that you can download 4 of some of our favorite songs of this season. And we have a song that might be coming out on Spotify and all the normal places too. So be sure to check that out. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Well, you'll be hearing more about that soon. So we're going to go to Phil. He's going to tell us a little bit about the lyrics of this song, and then we're going to play the song for you one more time at the end. Yes. Go out on the tunes. So Fizz Biz, tell us a little bit about the lyrics of this song.
Sure. So one of my all-time favorite songwriters is Paul Simon. Super original of me, right? But he has a great song called That Was Your Mother, where he is a classic baby boomer, and this was like in the 80s before OK Boomer, and he is sort of taking on the grumpy old man persona and highlighting how weak his generation has started becoming, and like just being really complaining about a lot of things that they could otherwise change their attitude on, and not blaming the younger generation. And I love that song. It's on Graceland, and it's there is a trend happening on like the internet right now that I've noticed, where millennials are starting to be really crotchety about Gen Z folks, and these are just like marketing things. They just clump us together to sell things to us. Yeah. And so it was funny to see millennials who are, for years, have been like, we're the most open-minded new Ben Franklin generation, to be like, these kids on their TikToks, they're ruining everything. And so I just wrote another crotchety millennial character, which seems to be a theme this season. There seem to be a lot of angry dudes, which is also nice because we can lay that to rest after season 1. And it's certainly not the narrator next week, but yeah, it was really fun to kind of inhabit that world. And like he's like trying to make excuses about like, sure, we got rich in the process, but like, you know, whatever, like stop complaining, you little kids, and other you know, fun things that you might hear a crotchety millennial say these days. So that was fun again to like inhabit that personality for the duration of a 3-minute song, much like last week. But this guy's even worse. He's truly a crumb. So you know, pay attention to the lyrics this time around, and if you're on Patreon, you can listen to it as many times as you want.
That's right.
And if you sign up with the link and you really love this song, we'll throw it in for you if you want. Just let us know.
Yeah, just let us know. We're nice guys. We're friendly guys.
Yeah, we're not crotchety.
We're not. That's right. As much as Phil will sing to you as a crotchety old man this season, we're not.
Which is ad nauseum. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, so I'm gonna bring back in the boys back in, and
I've never been crotchety.
You've never been crotchety?
Never been crotchety. Never been grumpy. Nothing like that. I can't even spell it.
That's
CR. Nope.
Awesome. All right. Well, so we are going to play the song for you one final time. Remember, you can get 4 of our songs that are unreleased right now, totally for free. Just check that out in the description. And we will see you next week for the last stand of the Great Martian Band, our final finale of season 1 of Alone Together. And we'll see you next week. So here we go. Goodwill for you one more time.
Where's all the goodwill for my generation? My generation. We did not change the world just to hear out your frustration. You don't understand. You don't. You always had it easy. You always had it easy, man, believe me. We were buried in student debt. We fought the wars that you all forget. I didn't go without my ambition. I was fighting my own condition. I showed up in my own way. So watch what you say. Yeah, so what if we came out with money? With money. You can't change the world from your couch, can you, honey?